Hey there, this is English with Rick, and I'm that guy, Rick. Now let's sort out this whole ed ending thing, the way you pronounce ed at the end of a word, because its pronunciation changes based on the sound that was made just before it. But there are rules, a pattern, and it's easier than you might think. First, a quick explanation of the difference between voiced and unvoiced sounds. This is important because it's part of the rules. A voiced sound is a sound that makes your throat vibrate. So if you put your fingers gently on your throat and say the v sound, you should hear a buzzing sound and you should feel a vibration. For a voiceless sound, this is a sound that does not make your throat vibrate. So if you say the f sound, which looks a lot like the v sound, same mouth position, but no vibration, no buzzing sound, that is an unvoiced sound. Here's rule number one. If a word ends in a voiceless sound, like the word laugh, laugh ends with the f sound. In that case, the ed is pronounced as t. So we say laughed. Another example is watch. That word ends in a ch sound. That's an unvoiced sound. So the ed is also pronounced t. It becomes watched. Rule number two, for voiced endings, like in the word move. Move ends in a vibrating v sound. That ed is pronounced as d after that. It's a d sound after voiced endings. Moved. Another example is the word clean. That word ends in an n sound, which is also voiced. So after adding an ed, we say cleaned. Rule number three. When a word ends in T or D, and I want you to note here that those are the two sounds we were talking about that the ed sound can make after those voiced and unvoiced sounds we just talked about, like the word start. If a word ends in a T or D, like the word start, we add a whole syllable, and then start is pronounced with an ed at the end as started. Another example is end. That word already ends in a d sound. So we add a syllable, and the ed is pronounced as id. That word becomes ended. Take some time to practice. I'll show you a verb, say a verb for you as well, then give you a moment, and then I want you to say that word in the past tense. The first word is help, H-E-L-P. So I'd like you to add an ed to the end of that word to make it into the past tense. Take a moment, think about it, and pronounce that. Help becomes helped, a t sound. Take the word live, add an ed to the end of that word, putting the verb in the past tense, and then try to pronounce that word with the ed at the end of it. With an ed at the end of that word, putting the verb live in the past tense, it becomes lived. Now, try pronouncing the word want if you added an ed ending. It becomes wanted. How do you pronounce the word kiss in the past tense? That word becomes kissed. How about the word rain? Try pronouncing it with an ed ending. Go for it. That word becomes rained. Last one. How would you pronounce the verb need, or just the word need, in the past tense? Add an ed. How do you pronounce it? It's pronounced needed. Now you've got the pattern. Keep trying. It'll feel natural soon. Till next time.